Hello everybody, sorry for the long wait, but I'm back with a video exclusively about chords, specifically how to play them and what they are. So, if you've seen the other videos, this may be a bit of review, but I'm going to go into a little more depth here about what they are and specifically how to practice them as well. So let's start from the beginning. Let's go through this quickly. Your first triad that pretty much everyone learns is the major triad. Now, there's two ways to think of it. You can think of it in terms of what keys you have to press down or what notes they are on the sheet music, or what pitches you hear, or you can think of them in terms of interval structure. Each of these has their benefits and their flaws. Thinking of them in terms of pitch content helps you when you're doing inversions, but it doesn't really help you when you have to, helps you with your inversions as well as when you're doing voicings, but it doesn't help you when you're initially learning how to build the chords. Thinking intervallically helps you when you're playing things that are not necessarily based on pitch content, but based on shape, which is some of the things that Herbie Hancock does. When he plays certain licks, he plays certain things in minor thirds or major thirds, or any sort of intervallic shape that wouldn't really benefit from pitch content knowledge. So, to get to the point, your first chords, your C major chord, all these are going to be in C. Now you can, since I'm giving you the interval and the pitch content, you can apply this to every other key by transposing, taking it from one starting pitch to another. So this is your first triad, C, E, and G. That's your C major triad. It's sometimes abbreviated C Maj7 or C capital M7, or it might just be written out, or no, not 7. C as in capital C, this is just the triad, sorry. It's sometimes written C by itself, capital C, or M, CM for C major, or CMAJ for the major triad, or just written out C major. When you see a C above the music, that means you're playing a C major triad, just the C by itself. Now, your C major triad will start with a C, E, and G. The C is called the root of the triad. The E is the third. The G would be the fifth. Altogether, we C, E, and G. Now, if you invert it, an inversion is when you're taking the bottom pitch and moving it to the top. So instead of playing C, E, and G, you're taking the C from where it is right now and moving it to the next one to the right. Now, this first position is called root position. This is your root position C major triad. Triad because there's 3 pitches. Like triangle has 3 angles. This is your first inversion because you inverted it one time. You took the C, moved it to the top. Now if you take this where it is now and invert it again, do the same process. Take the note that's on the bottom or the left, move it to the right. This becomes your C major triad in second inversion. Second inversion because you inverted it once, twice. Now if you invert it again, you end up back in root position. So, root position, first inversion, second inversion. Same for every key. Root position, first inversion, second inversion. Now this is how you practice this. You start out with your regular position, playing your fingers, playing with your playing with your technique that you learned. Then you play them as block chords. This is to build up that muscle memory so that we learn where the keys are for each key, each chord, without having to necessarily look down and pick out, okay, this is the C, then I have to play a major third up from that, so that's the E, and then minor third up from that, that's from E, 1, 2. Yeah, so you don't have to do that. You just know C major triad and play the triad. That's the whole point of that. Now, when working on your triads, it's important, if you ever find that you're struggling, slow down. If you find that you're struggling, slow down. Speed does not equal proficiency. You will not know what you're doing if you just rush through it. Take your time. If you find yourself moving from one key to the other and you feel your hand moving around trying to find out where the key is, it means you're going too fast. Now you should do this with every key. Okay? Going up, then going down, same idea. So, that's the first way to do it within the same chord. And you may have figured out the second way, which is based on the position itself, moving up and down. Going up and down, one octave, then down, all the way down, then back to the start. And you do the same thing with your first inversion triad. Same idea, up and down. Then you do the second inversion, then you go back to the root position. Same idea. The idea is to not go fast. You want your body to learn it, but you also want to know what you're doing. So if someone asks you, hey, how'd you play that? You can actually tell them. So now you know when you're doing this and you're naming your chords, this is important. You name them based on the root position. If you're playing this chord, it's not suddenly an E chord. It's a C major chord in first inversion. C major triad in first inversion. So if you're playing a chord, whatever the root is, that's the letter name that you give it. This is a C sharp or D flat major triad. Letter name, quality, and the number of the chord. Letter, D flat or C sharp. Quality, major. How many keys are there? Or what's the quality of the chord? It's a major triad, so triad 3. C sharp major triad, D major triad, E flat major triad, and so on. Now, when you're doing these, the way that I practice them personally is that I go up and down doing what's called arpeggiation. Not playing them in block chords. This is a broken chord. I go up and down based on whatever interval I want to practice in. Say if I want to do minor seconds. Minor second is, if you remember from the interval video, keys directly adjacent to each other on the piano. So that would be, I'd be playing C and C sharp or D flat. Those are our minor seconds. I play them going up and down. First as block chords. I'm rushing. I'm going faster because the video's running out of time. But I also do them on arpeggiations. So that's going up, then I do it going down. Then I do it going up and then alternating between going up and going down. then up. Now that's just in minor seconds. Now you can do it in major seconds, the same idea. Block chords first. Then going up. Then going down. The same concept applies. Do this for minor seconds, major thirds, minor and major thirds, minor and major seconds, perfect fourths, and so on until you finish doing all your keys and all the intervals that matter. Some don't matter because if you do go up by tritones, eventually you're just going to end up back on the same key. Same thing. So just so that you do them in all keys. And this is just to break up the monotony, so you're not every day like, I gotta practice my triads. Then you get bored and you don't do it. This is just to give you variety and ways to practice. Now this applies, the same exercise and the way of practicing them applies to minor triads and diminished triads, augmented triads, basically every chord you want to practice, work them out in this way. Now the important thing to remember is when you're practicing, if you're practicing and your mind starts to wander, you should stop practicing because you're just wasting time at that point. So if you're just like, you start playing something else, stop practicing because you're not doing anything. You're playing. There's a difference between playing and practicing. If you're playing, you're not practicing. Leave playing for when you're actually on the gig. When you're practicing, you're doing work. Really, in honesty, if you find your mind wandering, stop. Come back to it later when you're able to focus. Otherwise, you're wasting time. So that's your major triad. Now you can apply this to every key, and that'll be it for today. For this video, anyway. Next, I'll be working on other triads, and then you'll see those. English is hard. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and let me know anything else you need to know. And I'll do my best to get you that information as quickly as possible in a more timely manner. All right, have fun.